We live, baby. Let's go. We in this B. What up, what up, what up, what up? What up,
Was
everybody?
good.
We're going to talk about a bunch of things today. We'll let y'all cycle up in here. We'll probably banter here for just a couple of moments as y'all pull up in. Just the way that I got the stream set up, I would normally play some music in the background, but it's just going to be easier for me not to do that today. If that makes any sense. It better make sense. Um, but yeah, we gonna do this. I'm working on some stuff in the background. So this is my guy Goldeneye. You know what I'm saying? Say a few things Goldeneye while I set this stuff up in the background.
Yo,
You got to say more than that. Like, tell them about yourself.
I was about to say a line, but you know what? I've been sipping for a second, and right when it was about to come out, it just slipped my mind on some MC shit. If you an
Mm.
MC and you ever had just a perfect line to start out an introduction, and then the introduction happens, and it just,
Ah. This nigga got stage fright and shit.
you know what I'm saying? I would have had some slick shit to say, but that butterfly was, man,
Oh,
what am I
oh,
supposed
oh, stage fright. Ah, nigga. It's all good. I ain't gonna get you too
to? It is
bad.
what it is.
It is what it
But I'm
is.
here though. You know what I'm saying? I always think about stage fright like jumping through a plate glass window, right? You be ready to get on stage, you know what I'm saying? And then it hits you. But you know what it is? It's a plate glass window. If you jump through that motherfucker with confidence, crash through, you will probably be all right on the other side. Most likely. But if you hesitate, if you're not sure, and you jump halfway through a plate glass window, peace. Hope I see you around. It's gonna be a rough month. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta just go. So even though my line didn't come to me when it was supposed to, I'm in this bitch. Couple cuts, couple bruises.
I'm just trying to refresh some this window so that I can talk to y'all. I can't see y'all yet, so everybody who's in here, man, I appreciate y'all for hopping up in here. If you're in here so far, I just don't know why it's taking this long for my internet to refresh so I can get to YouTube page up to see the chat. So I apologize about that, chat. But I do hope you guys are having a good Saturday. This is GoldenEye. A lot of you guys, if you guys do rock with the streams and stuff like that, Gabriel Williams, who be, you know what I'm saying, in the stream all the time. I tell you, it's my guy. I decided to bring him onto the
Try to catch as
stream.
many of them as I can.
Decided to bring him onto the stream because he's a dope musician. He does some dope stuff. He's got a good perspective too. So we're just gonna kind of talk about whether or not this battle is good for hip hop. And there's a lot of points and perspectives that I do have. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry again. I'm trying to do two things at once, and I got a lot going on over here on the other end. It's not trying to let me log into my YouTube account because I have a couple of YouTube accounts. If you are here and you're following the channel, I do also have a sports channel you can follow, Playmakers Lounge. The name of the channel is going to change to Something on Sports. But for now, it is the Playmakers Lounge. So let me go over and get over here so I can get the chat up again. I apologize. I know I'm just mumbling. It's all good. But
Yo, we don't do that mumble rap shit over here though.
here we go.
But no, I remember that line. Look, no matter where you at in a line, got a gem for you. From a struggle like mine, got 10 for you. Stay
How,
tuned.
how it sounds? What's good? He said it's bad because it's childish behavior from the two leaders in the rap game. I don't like Drake's music. I did like Kendrick, but with the beef, I'm not impressed. I wouldn't disagree with you on that. Some of the points that I'm going to bring up later on. I got to grab my notebook, so I'll let you talk here in just a second. But just some of the points I have to bring up is that, like, we can't act like we are one way and then it's okay to break character to have a rap beef, which is some ultimately a rap beef is only some superficial shit. I've been a battle rapper and a host of battles, so I'm not condemning myself from, the behavior or the thought process of trying to be the best or saying you're the best or all this other shit and then getting into beefs with other motherfuckers because of just some stupid ass shit. Most people would know it's hard to say that somebody's the best because that's all subjective to the listener. Like, if I don't care about money, then any rapper that raps about money isn't going to be dope to me. If all I care about is money, then a rapper that raps about money is going to be, important to me. So the best rapper has always been a subjective thing based off of your lifestyle, what your focus is, what your grind is, what your hustle is, really based off of your personality as a person and your life traits. You get what I'm saying? Like, if a nigga worked on Wall Street, a nigga on Wall Street gonna think Drake's better than Kendrick Lamar because a person on Wall Street is literally only putting in stocks, doing all this stuff to get money. You know what I'm saying? So it would make sense. Or if it's somebody who just likes to dance all the time, they're gonna think that Drake's better than Kendrick Lamar. But then if you have somebody who's righteous and who's religious and spiritual and they believe that happiness is the greatest trait, then they're going to believe that Kendrick Lamar is a better artist than Drake. And so that's where we get into the fundamental difference there, because hip hop started with, I'm sorry I'm cutting you off, bro, but let me cook real quick for just a second. But hip hop started with, you know what I'm saying, as disenfranchised music for disenfranchised people. Well, there becomes a point in time where those disenfranchised people aren't disenfranchised anymore because they started making money, or they started, you know what I'm saying, like they started doing well in life, or they took different paths to not be in the hood or in the streets like that anymore. But that doesn't mean that they're not still disenfranchised from hip hop or from the culture. So now that you have these people who are trying to do better and they're raising their kids aren't disenfranchised either, because they still go through not necessarily the same struggle, but they still go through the black life. They still go through the plight of all that stuff, which, I mean, I don't know. It just, go ahead.
You know what? With regards to that, I feel like I do have a little bit of a unique perspective, right? Because I didn't move through the hood, I didn't move through the suburbs,
Right.
and everything between. And not just where I'm from. I'd probably moved through the hood and the suburbs where all y'all from too. I've been more places than I haven't. You know what I'm saying? And so when it comes down to Drake being the suburban guy, the not hood, the not like us, if you will, I'm going to go ahead. If I had a BS button right here, I swear I would hit it and it would go, ah, because here's the thing, right? There are certain conversations that I've had in the hood to where some of them bars and some of Kendrick's songs ring off in them conversations. Ring off. You can't say nothing until you walk 4 blocks over. And all of a sudden that line don't mean shit no more. You know what I'm saying? And I do believe that's what my brother talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because while I can hear it, and I'm like, yeah, I hear, yeah, my auntie talk like that. But at the same time, my coworker, you know what I'm saying, that I might go to Aruba with next year, he not feeling that shit. He not. And so I'm a little bit torn myself on some of them, like, beat your ass and hide the Bible line. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, yeah, I hear how to ring off, but I think a lot of y'all don't realize how small those circles really are in the scheme of things, where a line like that really rings off. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel what you're saying because of the meaning of the actual phrase. Like, to get a little further, like, a lot of people just think it's funny because Kendrick says it, but it's, one
It's
another one. It is funny. It is funny. It's a funny ass bar. A lot, one thing that we learned from this battle was that these two dudes are both funny. They're some funny ass niggas, man. They are hilarious, dude. Like, I bet you if you kicked it with them all night, you'd laugh all night. because it was like the bars that they were both hands were giving us. They both gave us some stuff that just it made you laugh, you know, like that was just a natural reaction. But there's certain things about this rap battle that's frustrating for me. So I guess we'll get into why is this it's a win and a loss for hip hop at the same time, because it's a win for hip hop because obviously we got a lot of eyes on the culture this week. Everybody was it was everywhere. It was on the playoffs, it was in presidential campaigns. I mean, it was literally everywhere this week, right? So that's a good look for hip hop. But what's a bad look for hip hop is that we allowed a lot of people who aren't of or who represent the culture to decide who won this battle. So I'm not here today on this live stream to pick a side. I'm not here to say that I think that one side won or another side didn't win. I'm here to break down a lot of stuff, and I'm here to say, like, I don't think that if these two niggas still want to battle, this motherfucking battle should still be rolling in place, because we've never had a situation like right now where it's been like not even 2 months since this shit started on a track and the battle's over and we expect for the battle to be over. Like, that's not even reality in the hip hop world for 35 years. So, like,
Good point.
you know what I'm saying? I've watched a lot of battles. You've watched a lot of battles. And so now we're letting a lot of people who are outside of the culture influence what we think about when the battle should end. Shit, if these niggas want to spit some more raps, let these niggas spit some more raps. Because it feels like part of this whole battle is two niggas who have been masterfully setting each other up. Because whether you realize it or not, Kendrick clearly set up Drake. To start everything off, Kendrick set up Drake. He had a bunch of tracks. He had songs. It's already been said. Not Like Us was made months ago and shit. Mustard sent that shit over a month ago. Months ago, and that track's been done. So, and then Drake's trying to set up some shit with, like, saying, all the stuff where we set you up or whatever with the daughter and all this stuff. So, I have.
Speaking of that, on real quick, I apologize, real quick, on the daughter setup side of things, right? I just want to bring to light one thing that we was talking about on Facebook, but I haven't heard nobody mention this in their reaction videos. That picture, right? Kendrick's album cover for the song he dropped, the most damaging song he dropped, according to some, right? I know people can't read cursive these days, but those of us who still can, anybody else peep that at the bottom of that shirt it says Shorty Collection? No, dead ass. Shorty Collection. On the shirt. It's not written on the shirt. The shirt was made that way. It says Shorty Collection along the bottom of that shirt. When I noticed that.
Really? Oh, we're gonna have to go find that real quick.
A lot of questions in my mind as to whether or not Drake was lying.
Yo, is that a new fact?
It's not new. It was in the picture. People just don't look that closely. It was, you know what I'm saying?
The shit says Shorty Collection in the picture. Oh, that's funny.
The shirt itself, the actual shirt, across the bottom says Shorty Collection in cursive. My G, I know a lot of motherfuckers don't read cursive these days. I'm 41 years old. I read cursive. When I saw that first either, I'm not trying to call niggas dumb. I didn't notice it until somebody pointed it out to me on Facebook. But damn, it's been a little while. Ain't nobody mentioned it yet. That's a little bit, that Easter egg right there makes me think, oh, damn. I think this nigga Drake really did plant that evidence.
The Easter egg.
Because I was wondering from day one, like, why the fuck would Drake's dad's suitcase have a Maybach glove in it? And even if it did, why would that be relevant for them to show? You know what I'm saying? Unless the picture just came to him like that.
Right.
It did.
what I wonder is, damn, I lost my thought. Um, what were we saying right before you said something about the Maybach glove?
Like it for me, it was a question of did Drake really send him fake evidence, or
Right.
was that just a dope bar? Did it just happen to line up that way to where he could say that?
I
You know what
mean,
I'm saying?
yo, I here's
But
here.
with her saying Shorty collection across the bottom, for me, that was just like, that's too much for it to be a coincidence.
I feel like both.
Like,
Well, what do you, okay? So here's my philosophy. Hold on, let me go get my notepad because remember we talked last night. I talked to my man Goldeneye for hours last night. Yo, I got a an actual thought process on what I think happened. Let me grab my notepad.
no doubt. While y'all waiting on him, I'll elaborate a little bit more on something that's unique, right? So I haven't been a fan of either one of these dudes. I wrote Drake off, and I'll acknowledge I shouldn't have, but I did. I wrote Drake off towards the beginning of his career because I felt like all that soft shit, like, it ain't for me. And I wrote Kendrick off after Swimming Pools and then Damn because I don't like rudimentary style cadences where you only rhyme the last word in the bar. To me, that's kiddie play school shit. And so I wrote Kendrick off years ago, both of them. Haven't been listening to either one of them. Now, since this battle, I'm listening to more of both of them. And you know what? Let me just expose my brand new bias right now. Drake way better. Like, it looked to me like he's a rap Terminator. Like, y'all say he not of the culture, and that's fine. You could have that. But he certainly did do his motherfucking homework and learn that shit and master it, hanging out with all them fucking battle rappers and shit. And I can't front on hard work. You can't just easily just go and steal somebody's shit and do it better than them.
Hold on.
Like,
So let
motherfuckers
me
act like
let me comment.
appropriating music is
Let me comment
a
on
cheat move.
let me comment on this. So let me comment on this. Shard. I don't know, not Shard. Sorry, Niles. So here's what I think happened. Let me give you what I think happened in this whole Drake and Kendrick beef, right? I could be 100% wrong. This is speculation. This isn't a nigga who knows any of them. I have never in my entire lifetime had a conversation with either one of those niggas. I went to see Kendrick perform in Chicago. I've said this before. I drove there 7 hours after I got done moving a 3-bedroom house during my divorce. So I really wanted to see Kendrick, spend $100 on him, enjoyed the show. Never spent any money on Drake. Never bought a Drake album. Never bought any OVO clothes. Nothing. So I never spent any money on Drake. But I like them both. So I do like them both. I like J. Cole too. And his sentiments aren't wrong. He said that he hasn't liked them forever. He hasn't liked any of these niggas. But I like them. I like them. I like all three of them. I think they make good music. So what I think happened in this situation was, it starts off with Kendrick and Drake and them being kind of cool because they're all young and they're coming up in the game together. Some snakish stuff has happened, like J. Cole was running late for the Triple XL freshman edition, and Kendrick tried to get J. Cole kicked off and tried to take his spot because he was late and Kendrick wasn't on there, but he was just there for an interview for something else. So that
Wow, shit.
so that floats in the air. So I think that like kind of gives people a nasty, temperature because it's like, nigga, this is how you're coming off. Like you're this kind of rapper, but this is how you start everything off. So that's how some people allegedly feel about, Kendrick, like, this is how you started. And so, and now you get a point where they're all get a little cooler and they go on tour together. And so Drake takes Kendrick on tour, and it's Drake's tour, and you know what I'm saying, Kendrick's open up for him. Everything's all cool. They come off tour, and I think that everything is all cool. And then Control drops. And I think Control was the prelude to try to draw Drake out. So I think when Kendrick dropped Can't Control, he wanted Drake to come out so he can battle Drake because he wanted to be the best rapper in the game. Again, these are
So you
all.
feel like
Wait,
with Drake in particular all the way back then, and the rest of them niggas maybe was a plausible
wait,
deniability.
wait. So in 2014, the year after Control comes out, um, the year after Control comes out, Kendrick gets into that situation at the Hard Rock Cafe where allegedly he hits that woman. And
I
he,
wasn't aware of that.
yeah, allegedly he hit that woman. Some employee at a Hard Rock Cafe comes downstairs and she's like, Kendrick's hit this woman. Her face is all bloody, so on and so forth. And
Oh, he hit it.
yeah.
This confirmed?
No, this is alleged. I said alleged. Now,
Okay.
I'm saying this is what I think happened because I feel like this is how this shit would escalate to the situation to where it got so fast because there's some shit I'm going to show you in here in just a second. So from there, I think that Drake probably finds out because it's the industry. This shit was on the news. This ain't some like shit that's not. I mean, like if you're a hip hop head, you know this shit. This shit was in the news. I'm not
I
saying
feel
no
like the
breaking
only
news.
reason I was trying to ignore that nigga.
Oh well, yeah. This ain't some shit that I'm making up. Like I've been on this.
Right.
So like again, I'm not saying that this is true or it's not true. I'm not saying any of that shit. But what I think happened was so Drake calls this nigga and probably says some dumbass shit to him like, nigga, you can't be hitting chicks or you can't without no evidence. He's probably Drake because Drake's an arrogant person. So since Drake's an arrogant person, he probably thought it was his place to step into Kendrick's business.
Hey, nigga, what
yeah,
you doing?
yeah, nigga, what you doing? You going right. Because I can see that shit. I can see this nigga overstepping his boundaries and shit. You know what I'm saying? So then this nigga fucking probably calls Kendrick and he's like, you know, you can't be doing that shit. And Kendrick's like, nigga, why the fuck are you calling me? You don't even really know what the fuck happened. And so I can see them having a little fallout from there. But from there is where shit gets a little sticky because Kendrick had been on Sports Nation on ESPN in 2013 and Drake was on Sports Nation in 2014. So Kendrick was on 2013 and Drake was on 2014. And when Drake was on, Marcellus Wiley said in an interview that Drake was talking a bunch of shit behind the scenes. And Marcellus Wiley, who was one of the hosts of the show, said he called he called TDE and told them everything that Drake said. And that was one day that the show wasn't, when the show recorded, that that the show wasn't recorded live, that they pre-recorded the show. And so they ended up cutting out all the shit that Drake was saying about Kendrick. But that shit happened. That episode of that show was right after the incident with Kendrick in the Hard Rock Cafe. So they were asking Kendrick backstage whether they thought that Kendrick, or that, you know, what he thought about Kendrick Lamar. Do you think that Kendrick Lamar in Control, do you think he's the best rapper and blah, blah, blah? And Drake was like, Kendrick got shit he's got to worry about. He just needs to fucking sit in his place. And like, you know, he was talking all that braggadocious shit. And so I'll just play the clip. Here, let me go and play the clip. How about that?
I would take that to heart if somebody said that about me.
Yo, I would be mad.
I'd be upset. I'd be upset.
I thought I had that shit up.
I don't know, like, I don't think though, like after hearing they best efforts, I don't think Kendrick and Drake league. Like MC-wise.
You said what?
Song, I put them niggas right neck and neck. Song making, you know what I'm saying? Charisma, popularity, and all that. Beat selection. But MC-wise, I do not think Kendrick is on Drake's level. I think Kendrick is very, very limited by comparison.
I think Kendrick's a better lyricist, but I think Drake's a better song like a hit maker. Like he's gonna make shit that you're gonna listen to at your family barbecue, where Kendrick's gonna make stuff that you listen to in your car.
And I think it's literally the other way around. I think Kendrick is restricted to family barbecue music, and Drake can make stuff that can appeal to the MCs, to the Karens even, to motherfuckers in other countries. I think Kendrick is limited to the barbecue. You know what I'm saying? Because his dopest shit is shit that crack off mostly in the hood because it's hood references. You know what I'm saying? As far as I know, as a non-Kendrick fan, like, I don't get me wrong, I haven't listened to very many of this nigga's songs. Probably less than 5. But that's barbecue music. That shit that really just hood niggas get. You know what I'm saying? And they think that it's deep and that other people don't get it because it's too deep for them, and really it's lower. It only appeals to, like, it's hood nigga shit. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, I got this. I got this clip right here. So I don't even know how to fucking fix this shit. Look at my stupid ass. Let me pop out the screen. Nah, I'm still gonna have to fuck with it though. All right, but I'm gonna put it like this. But I got this video of Marcellus Wiley, how the beef started with Drake and Kendrick. So I'm gonna push play and I'm gonna figure out how to get it.
Doctor. Right. That shit fire, bro.
Let's go.
You can hear it and see it, right?
Psychedelic.
Can you see it? Can you see it or hear it?
I see you now.
Okay.
See it now.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Ooh, come on, name.
Yeah.
The only thing about when you're in the news and then you catch wind of it and you read some of the articles, the headlines, you're like, damn, say it right. Get it right. You know what I mean? And there are a few stories out there that are questioning the validity of the Kendrick Drake beef. They come at it different ways. One, they'll say, according to Marcellus Wiley, which I respect, you know, they're trying to be journalists and say, hey, we don't know if the dude telling the truth. Another thing I see, which is a lie, which is we reached out to him and they said we reached out to ESPN, we reached out to Drake, reached out to Kendrick, reached out to Marcellus. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Text me if you did. You know what I'm saying? Don't be talking about, I called and then leave a voicemail. So a lot of smoke out there. And I just want to show you guys that I already told you guys a long time ago how this went down. But, you know, I know how to drop breadcrumbs. Small enough that y'all don't get full off of them, but big enough where y'all should see them. Well, a lot of people didn't see these breadcrumbs. So let's go back to September 16th, 2016. When I was on Vlad TV, he came to ESPN when I was working there. And he says in his description, in this podcast, former NFL defensive end, now ESPN broadcaster, shares his appreciation for rap music. While growing up in Compton, an awkward run-in he had with Suge Knight. Ooh, that story. I was scared. Having exclusive content regarding Drake and Kendrick Lamar's beef during the taping and why he had to scrap the entire interview. That was in 2016. And Vlad didn't show up to my door immediately after it happened. So letting y'all know, I told y'all. And now we here. So for all those journalists out there and all of us who are interested,
I can see it, but I can't
let's take
hear
a look at that interview and see now, like everyone's doing with Kendrick's music and Drake music. Oh, that's why you said you don't like him. I don't even like you. Remember that song on the Stars? Oh, I love that song, etc. There's so many times that Kendrick went there and Drake went there, but now they're here. So let's have a little fun and talk about this interview. Let's go through it. Oh, I'm going to break it down now.
So you talked about a situation on your show and you couldn't get into specifics, but it has something to do with the Drake and Kendrick beef.
I've heard of those guys. Good rappers.
So you said, all I know is there was a beef.
West
All
Coast
I know is I was witness to where the beef would have ignited to proportions we would not have seen since
that line keep popping in my head.
I look lean, don't I?
Maybe even Ice Cube.
Don't get his ass whipped, but I'm headed up now.
But that was destroyed from everyone's
I
problem.
look the same.
That was destroyed, that interview. That moment was destroyed. That's all I'm going to say. But I was there and I heard the shots fired. So you had an interview with Kendrick or Drake?
Look at that. So you know I'm so transparent, so real. But I haven't been sworn to secrecy except it was orders given from one person's camp to our company that they should not air it.
Okay. So, as I've said before, and I'm going to say it again, We did the interview. We couldn't believe what we heard.
That's it.
More Max and I,
Fans drive
because we
around
are hip hop
elementary
heads.
schools
We're
with his
all in on this. Like,
That's
dog, you
funny.
imagine you just got on the cover of Source magazine or something, because we were like, we knew the beef was brewing. At least we felt it because of the Control verse, because of a cipher that Kendrick did, because the way Drake just came on and went there. We were like, oh, he trying to set the tone, running down on kickoff. So that's what happened. And then Drake's camp, somebody, I'm sure, one of his ghostwriters, one of them dudes getting paid was like, hey, dog, I heard what you were saying. Not now.
All right, I'm gonna start reading.
Not ever. Basically, don't say that. And they went back, told the bosses, hey, get rid of it. That's how it go.
Some of y'all
And
went.
only that keeps me
That's
from
hilarious, though.
really going all in on who it was.
So you see right there, from what he's saying is that Drake was talking smack. Drake was talking smack, you know? And so what do you do if you're Kendrick? If you know that's the truth, what do you do if you're Kendrick? Do you start writing diss tracks and you know what I'm saying, start setting it up? Or maybe even Drake was talking, you know what I'm saying, running his mouth before this. So maybe there's a world where Drake was running his mouth and popping off, you know what I'm saying, and saying this shit, which probably he had been, you know, in other interviews and other places, because if he felt comfortable enough to say it here, he probably felt comfortable enough to say it in other places. But what I will also say as well is that they said that they asked him about the Control verse, and when they asked him about the Control verse, that's probably how he responded. But how do you expect a rapper to respond? You know, like, how do you expect Drake to respond when you're like, well, what do you think about this Control verse? And it's right after those, you know, allegations came up on Kendrick,
Right.
and you're Drake, you know, like you're, you know, probably out of touch with the world, you know, arrogant, and, you know, probably was just like, whatever. I'm not worried about Kenny. You know, Kendrick just opened up for me on tour. What am I worried about? So he's probably been running his mouth. And so Kendrick's probably been setting this shit up. So Control, like I said, was probably what was going to be the first attack of many, but it turned into, he got those charges and he couldn't really attack. That's not what you want fucking the rapper you're battling to be able to use as ammunition, and all that shit happened at the same time. And so I feel like that's what people are overlooking.
What happened before?
Yeah, we're 10 years removed from that shit. So since we're 10 years removed from it, it's not like it's some fresh knowledge, or like it's fresh in people's heads, or like it's like common knowledge to that, you know, the hip hop head of 2024. So since, you know, you get far removed away from the stuff in your past that you don't want people to know, and then when you have a problem with somebody, you bring that shit out. I'm not saying that's a wrong thing to do. I mean, that you can see he clearly does not like that nigga. I know some of y'all said there's no animosity there. There is absolutely animosity there. I think if Kendrick Lamar could, I think if Kendrick Lamar, if he could stab Drake, he would stab Drake.
Yeah, and get away with it for sure. Because he said in the song, more than one song, I want you dead, right? Was that just the one song, or did he say that in both songs?
I think he just said it in Euphoria. Maybe he said something similar in Meet the Grams. I don't listen to Meet the Grams very often. That's like I'm good on that song.
I mean,
I don't need that energy in my life. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck needs
the Alchemist beat notwithstanding, right? Because the beat was hard, but that song was trash. I don't give a fuck. That song was trash before I even knew that it was based on fake news. Like, that song was just trash. Aside from, obviously, an Alchemist beat. I would never go that far. But the song, the concept, the whole thing, that was ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've literally seen niggas do that concept in freestyle battles.
Well, I'll give you this.
Let's not front like it's some revolutionary MC shit.
I'll give you this.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if I'm mad at the concept, because you got to do what you got to do what's gonna win, because you're battling a machine at that. Whether, no matter what I think or you think or the next person thinks, Drake was the favorite in the battle because he was the more popular.
Yeah.
He was the more popular rapper. So since he's the more popular rapper, if you're Kendrick, you have to take every single tactic you know that you can do in order to win the battle. So whether it's discredit him, discredit his personality, discredit his persona, his morals, all that stuff. That's what you just have to do. It's time and truth. It's the best way to go about any kind of battle. Discrediting somebody, and then, you know what I'm saying, not claiming to do the same things that they do. I'm not mad at them. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, I'm in the middle with these two artists. Like, I've gone and seen Kendrick. I listen to Drake. I listen to Kendrick. I listen to J. Cole. I listen to all three of them. So I'm not going to sit up here and start lying on the internet and trying to act like from the beginning, you know, if you want to know the truth from
what? No,
so if you
that
want,
begs the question. It makes me wonder, do a lot of us have different ideas of what a win in a battle is? Like,
absolutely,
follow me on this. Right? So,
absolutely,
obviously, Kendrick wins over public opinion as far as the core of hip hop's audience. You know what I'm saying? The day one hip hop crowd, hood niggas, got us. We there. We in that bucket. We in that bucket, right? But does winning over public opinion as far as what we think of these two people as people equate to the same thing as getting the public to agree he out-rapped him?
I don't think that will ever
Or are
be.
they totally different definitions of winning a battle?
So
I made the public think you're a horrible person. I out-rapped you. Can two things be true on opposite sides at the same time?
I think that no, I don't think so, because people don't understand. People have different expectations when it comes to rap. So I think earlier I mentioned, and I've mentioned this a bunch of other times too, is like there's different kinds of hip hop. So if you're more interested in commercial rap than you are underground rap or East Coast, you know what I'm saying, versus West Coast or whatever it is, you're probably always going to ride on the side of whatever it is that you listen to. Now, when it comes to this shit, there's certain parts in both of these, in all this battle that was magical. Like, there were some bars in Euphoria that was super nice, although Euphoria is probably one of my least favorite songs of the battle. There's some magical bars in there. I'm not gonna lie. There's some good. There's some gems in there. But then when you get to like Family Matters, people aren't even like listening to that shit. Like, because Kendrick drops fucking Meet the Grams, which isn't even close to on the same level as far as when we're listening to these songs. Like, you can't be a hip hop head and look me in the eye and tell me that you honestly think that Meet the Grams was better than it was just the shock value. And then when we come out to find out that some of the shit was false receipts, so it's not all the truth, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, now we're fighting 2/3 of a song versus a full ass 6.5 minute song that had 3 switches, and this nigga was going off against fucking Rick Ross, and he killed fucking ASAP Rocky. This motherfucker was, he was getting it.
ASAP Rocky. Rest in peace.
This motherfucker, Kendrick told Drake to we don't want to hear you acting hard. We want to hear you with the melodies. So he wrote all that shit. That whole verse is a response verse. That's not some shit that he had. Yeah. And so he's saying to that nigga with the melodies. Right.
Even though Kendrick in real life probably would beat the shit out that nigga. I ain't even gonna front.
You think
West Coast niggas do fades?
Have you seen?
And I'm a Cleveland nigga. That's why I know that. Because in West Coast niggas, we got that in common. I do believe in a fist fight, Kendrick's little bitty tiny ass would beat the fuck out of Drake. Unless Drake used his money to take some taekwondo or some jujitsu or some shit, then it's, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, West Coast niggas do fades. Like, that wasn't just a line. You know what I'm saying? For niggas think I hate the West because I think Drake won.
Niles, what do I think? What do I think the best diss tracks of all time are? The reason why, so here it is. The reason why I don't think that Meet the Grams is. The reason why I don't think Meet the Grams hit so hard is because, A, Drake doesn't have a daughter. So there's a third of a verse that's fabricated information. So I mean, it's already been dispelled, you know. So he doesn't have a daughter, right? And then the first verse, he's talking about Drake's a deadbeat dad, but anybody who's a dad who's tried to get kids or tried to be in their kid's life know that you're not going to be able to just show up in music videos with them or not have them on your Instagram feeds all the time or always be around your kid, right? Because like there's a world where niggas are out here fighting for their kids and they know how hard it is to be able to see your kid because your crazy ass baby mama or ex-wife or whoever it is that you were with won't let you see them. And so a lot of times, most of the time, they're spiteful and they hold these kids against you. And so especially in a situation like Drake's, where Drake, you know what I'm saying, she can just get all the money from this nigga as she wants, and it's hard as fuck to get to see your kids. And so like there's a world where a lot of people have to go through this fight and struggle. So deadbeat dads aren't around. There's a whole bunch of artists, musicians, basketball players, football players, baseball players, soccer players. There's a bunch of everything that you could think of, boxers, UFC fighters that are all deadbeat dads that aren't in their kids' lives. You know, there's your friends that are deadbeat dads that aren't in your kid's life. You know, motherfucking deadbeat dads, you know? So to call somebody a deadbeat dad, but there's all this evidence, you consistently see videos and shit with them on different days and different occasions and shit. So, I mean, I'm projecting, sure, if that's what you think, my dude. But I just, it's
well,
not.
okay. Let me jump in there again.
It's just what I think. You know, going through a fight.
Let me jump in right there. I think my man's is projecting. I don't have no kids. I don't have nothing to project about.
Right.
Let me jump in on that. The deadbeat dad thing, I get it. If you make it a dope bar, I'm counting that. I'm scoring that. That's a hit.
I can't.
But you just come out and say he a deadbeat dad. It's not a bar. You're just trying to tarnish him as a man. You're not trying to tarnish him as an MC no more. You know what I'm saying? Which leads me into that whole PDF file accusation. Again, make it a bar. Then we cool. Don't just say certified and not, you ain't flip it, you ain't make nothing, you ain't rhyme nothing with it. Make it a bar, and I'm going to score it. If you don't make it a bar, I'm going to call it mudslinging and score it against you, because that's whole shit. So that means you think he's a better rapper than you, and you're angry, and you're trying to discredit him any way you can.
So let me say this. So Hala, you said my dad's a deadbeat dad. In fact, I call him sperm donor because he certainly is no dad to me. So was your dad ever around? Because these are the things that I think about. And again, like somebody said, I'm glazing. I think I've said a bunch of times on this specific stream already that Kendrick's clearly up. But I'm just talking about shit that y'all let slide. It's okay for somebody to be a devil's advocate. Like, fuck, y'all motherfuckers don't even be open to discussion. Like, it's like, hey, it's what I think is the truth, or I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I'm open to look at shit from both sides and perspectives, because it's like, I just see so many holes in this battle from both sides. Like Drake's strategy was awful. But Kendrick that's Drake's strategy was awful, but that's due to Kendrick dropping a 6-minute diss in Euphoria. I think if Kendrick doesn't drop a 6-minute diss, Family Matters is 3 different songs. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Yeah, and so when he drops his 6-minute diss, which I'm not even mad. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying? It's your strategy. I'm not saying it's foul. I'm not saying that it's not okay. I'm not saying it's not cool. I think when y'all pop into these streams and y'all hear me talk, y'all think that I'm just a Drake fan, but I've said at least 15, 20 times that I have paid money to see Kendrick. I've driven 7 hours after I was fucking getting divorced. Today I had to move everything out of my house. Fucking, it was a 3-bedroom house, me and one other person. And then I drove there for the concert. I've never spent any money on anything from Drake. No OVO anything, no CDs, nothing. You know, no downloads, nothing. So I listen to them both. I respect them both, but I feel like what does he say? He left my mom when I was 7, cheated, and had 2 kids, and his new wife made sure he cut me off, right? So y'all hear that shit right there? He's cut off, and he can't talk to his kids, and he's never around. That's a deadbeat dad, you know?
Yeah.
That's a deadbeat dad. Somebody who's
That's
around isn't, and so we shouldn't count I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just certain stuff that, like, when it come down to it in this battle, as an MC who didn't battle, I mean, I started battling in the 90s. I know I look sexy, but I'm an old nigga. You know what I'm saying? As somebody who battled, I done seen it all. I done seen so many different tricks come out of the side of niggas' necks to try to win a battle in any way other than just spitting a doper verse. And I can't front as somebody who came in this battle, not just not liking either one of these niggas. I specifically disliked both of them coming into this battle.
He's not lying. He's not
but
lying.
I'm an MC. Like I'm a MC. I'm so much an MC. Go to my Instagram. I gave both these niggas real bars before they got going. Go listen to it. You know what I'm saying? That's MC shit. So I don't like neither one of these niggas before this battle. But on some MC shit, I saw Drake do some shit on Family Matters that obviously made Kendrick flail. It made him flail. He was out of gas after 616, which, by the way, was a magnificent entry into this battle. 616 in LA was fantastic. And I know don't nobody feel me on that. You know what I'm saying? But I think the best 2 songs in this battle is 616 in LA and Heart Part 6 on some MC shit. I don't give a fuck about what bops in the club. I don't give a fuck about what get your auntie Bible thumper up in arms about the nigga's personality. I give a fuck about straight bars. And when you look at straight bars, they was trying to give it to each other on 616 in LA and Heart Part 6. And so as an MC, I go to those 2 tracks. And when I listen to them tracks with a critical ear, I hear Kendrick doing a style that he's not used to doing and sounding winded as he's doing it. And I hear Drake executing some shit that he'd been doing since like 2010 or some shit. I'm just now getting back and listening back to all the timestamp records. Forgive my ignorance. But I hear him executing that shit that Kendrick was trying to do on 616. I hear Drake showing how it's done on Heart Part 6. Now, if people don't feel like neither one of them songs are dope entries into the battle, then cancel my opinion as moot. But on some real live MC shit, and I'd be willing to bet probably $1,000. Nobody watching this in this chat right here now live is as seasoned an MC as I am.
What?
Those are the songs.
I'm not
on
as,
some MC shit.
I'm not
flat
as,
out.
I'm not as seasoned as an MC as you are. You hear me? Oh, really?
You shit. You ain't you fucking right there with me.
Yeah.
You was there in the early ciphers.
You know, I was saying that because I was thinking about some shit earlier that I think that a big problem with this battle just comes down to that it's 2024. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't think that we should have the expectation and the turnaround time from people who aren't necessarily rappers. And this is no shot at anybody, but not to understand, in order to make a really good song, let me get at least a week or 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me think about some shit and come back, because this is going to be forever. Like, these diss tracks are forever. It's not like it's just like a club banger. This is like, this is a moment in hip hop. This is a moment in time. So I know a lot of you guys realize that shit. This is a moment in time. So I wish that we would, I wish that nobody would have had the expectation for these niggas to be like, he better respond in 48 hours. That's fucking
right.
That's insane, bro. That's like,
it took months.
Yo, you remember when all the battle rappers back in the day used to battle? It was like you would get a track, and then you got to wait till the next album come out. So like if it was Cannabis versus LL Cool J, Cannabis diss him, you got to wait 6 to 8 months. You got to wait for the album to come out, and then when the album come out, that's when you get the fucking diss track and shit. But
matter of fact, I want to say that was the quickest. That battle, Cannabis LL, made us look at turnaround time different back then, because that one happened pretty quick as far as what we were used to at the time.
No, I would disagree.
That 4 3 2 1 shit.
I think that
Drive, and then Cannabis dissed him on his first album.
Yeah, he did, and then LL came back and dissed him, but I don't think that was any quicker than like the shits that was going on with like Kumo D and LL. LL's always been
between Second Round Knockout and Jack the Ripper. Yeah, that was a regular amount of time, but between 4 3 2 1 and Second Round Knockout, I believe, if I'm remembering right, and I could be wrong, historians in the chat correct me, but I believe those were pretty close.
I believe those were more close because Cannabis's album was almost done before 4 3 2 1 popped off. So he ended up adding that on to the album because it was within, I think 4 3 2 1 might have popped off in November or something like that of 98, and then 4 3 2 1, or then Cannabis album might have came out in March of 99, something like that. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's something like that.
I was in high school, all into that shit too.
Yeah, I was too. I remember when that shit came out, man. That was one of my favorite beefs of all time. I'll stand on that ledge of, I think Cannabis won the battle. Obviously, LL Cool J won the war. But Cannabis, man, I just feel like that shit was so fierce. But that's what a battle is, because LL did an efficient job, though. He did an effective job of responding to his bars. You know what I'm saying?
To be honest with you, all these years I've been running with Cannabis won, because from the beginning I wanted Cannabis to win because I knew what was at stake. If LL Cool J wins, we don't get to see Cannabis's career arc. And if Cannabis wins, we get to see Cannabis. So I say early on, even that early, I was biased for Cannabis because he was so crazy. But to be honest with you, I went back just recently. At first I listened to 4 3 2 1, which he really only just took a jab. Second Round Knockout was Cannabis trying his best to go at his idol, and going back and listening to it now, it was dope because there was nobody else that dope at the time other than LL. But when you go back and listen to Jack the Ripper, the song that made Cannabis adopt the alias Rip the Jacker years later. So Cannabis' hardest line, arguably in Second Round Knockout, was 99% of his fans were high heels.
Right, 99% of your fans don't exist. Right, it was a rebuttal. Right.
Crazy though. It was a crazy rebuttal.
That's a crazy rebuttal. But I'll say this: I don't think that at that time, Cannabis had the fans. I think here's. I
was one of them.
Yeah, I definitely was a Cannabis fan. Our whole crew was, me, Dub, all of us. We rocked with Cannabis, because Cannabis has two of the dopest features of all time on the Firm. That shit
on the Lost.
The Lost Boys. Yeah, them are two of the hardest features of all time in hip hop history.
Oh my God, jumping out the trees like Vietnamese in fatigues covered with leaves.
That nigga, when that nigga said, I can't even think straight. I'm thinking I got Desperados beat in my head trying to think of Lost Boys beat. You know what I'm saying?
Desperados was nuts. How you overshadowed Nas and Nature on the song?
Well, Nas wasn't on the song. It was.
Was it Nature?
Nature and AZ and Cannabis. Yeah. I was
like, good. Still, how you overshadow Nature and AZ on the track?
Because I don't even listen to that shit, because he comes. I mean, I don't listen to After Cannabis really. I just run the track back because it comes right out. At 1,000 degrees Celsius, I make MCs melt. Fuck my record label. I appear courtesy of myself. You know what I'm saying? Let me explain how I maintain thresholds of pain and run across the sun barefoot looking for shade. I rearrange written cage like a
Like a
12 gauge,
12-gauge
close range, change the position of your brain. My hard raps penetrate through your hard hats and all that. Nigga, get your wig peeled back. I scalp you like the Indians on horseback. Nigga, running bull hit you harder than running back. Swiftly running raps around.
48 tracks.
Like uncut crack. These fiends keep coming back like acrobats. That shit is so hard, dog. That shit is so hard.
And that's what actually is funny to me when I think back at Cannabis and his early on, because though I've changed my opinion and I do say now that LL won the battle between Second Round Knockout versus Jack the Ripper, if you listen to almost any other song on Cannabis' first album, Buckingham Palace, he had the skills to where he could have tore LL limb from limb lyrically. I think he just didn't on that song, Second Round Knockout. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But go Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, that's my favorite Cannabis song on that album. That shit's hard. That third verse when he's like,
what did he say about fucking drop shit? Getting so high that whenever I drop shit, it'll land on the window of your airplane cockpit.
Right. Is that the first verse? Is that the third verse or the second verse?
Oh, that's my favorite song.
My shit is where he's like, hey, yo, my hard raps penetrate through you. No, that might be the other track. Now, hold on. Give me 1 second so I can remember what the bar is on that shit. What is this shit? It'd be like Buckingham Palace. I got to remember how I know the song because as soon as I hear like a little bit of the beat, I'm going to be like.
The nigga said, hey, yo, I stand on stage. And that's how he started this shit off.
Hey, yo, I stand on stage. Buckingham Palace.
Oh, that was my joint back in the day, too. I'm almost embarrassed that I'm not remembering all of the lyrics right off the top. But my favorite line is what comes to me. The nigga said that shit about the airplane cockpit.
No, my shit is, oh, yeah. I'm strong. My word is bond like I'm strong. My word is bond like James. Niggas is trying to test me. I'm weak like 7 James. MCs run away, kicking they so chicken. They should come with a large drink and a biscuit. My style's radioactive, massive atomic. I plan to push the earth in front of Haley's comic, breaking the facts of life down. I'm 2D like raw fish and sushi with more food. Yeah, yo, that motherfucker was so hard. The 3 motherfucking Fugees. My shit is when he says, I don't know if y'all can see the shit. I got the I'm pulling the shit up now.
As soon as you start saying it, it's all coming back.
Well, no, I started looking at the Genius and shit because I couldn't remember the beat, and I didn't want to get a claim and shit.
It started coming back as soon as you start saying it.
So
that was.
He said it's a little bit of weed and some Hennessy got me feeling. Oh, my fucking camera died.
Got me ready to set it with kinetic energy.
With more energy than Billy G, yeah. If I want to make more bills than Bellamy, so I could be on MTV with women constantly telling me I resemble Billy D. With 5 rhymes to get my name on the scene, and when I get to seeing it, that nigga Cannabis, that nigga Cannabis was different. When he came, he was for real different.
He was. And Cannabis, if you see Dream, holla at your boy. Let me produce an album for you and get you back to that, my G. No slight, but I want to hear you the way I heard you. Holla at me. You know what I'm saying? That's beside the point, though.
I gotta get this camera right.
Oh, man. But no, I did. I went back and listened to them 2 songs specifically. Because I remember when Jack the Ripper came out, it was on that Survival of the Illest mixtape that came out as like an extra to one of the Def Jam CDs I bought back in 97 and 98. And that LL song was on there. And I actually heard LL's response to Cannabis before I heard Second Round Knockout for the first time. But by the time I had heard either of them songs, I had already heard How We Roll by Cannabis, which was, roll up on your crew quicker than long sleeves. at a speed that would confuse Keanu Reeves. Like on some MC shit, that got a lot of us started. You know what I'm saying? And so I was already ready to give the W to Cannabis before I even heard Second Round Knockout. I had heard How We Roll, and then I had heard Jack the Ripper. I was like, oh, he talking about that nigga I just heard. Oh yeah, that nigga don't want no fucking with. And I basically gave Cannabis the W then, and then I heard Second Round Knockout. And in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, he's not at his best here, but he deserved to win, and we want to hear more from him. So Cannabis W. And I feel like a lot of people are doing the same thing right now with Kendrick, because this is the most they've heard him pop out since he started, and they want to hear more from him. And they know if it's a landslide dub for Drake, then we go back to hear something from Kendrick every however many years. But if it's a landslide W from Kendrick, then maybe Kendrick stands on that and dances on it and gives us, and we hear more and we get more notoriety for the MC that we think is just the better, the more wholesome, the more worthy MC to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been seeing Drake come through his up and coming phase, and he's been on top so long. We want to see Kendrick show us what he can do from that position. And so maybe we're willing to give him the W, even if he didn't necessarily out-rap Drake in this battle. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll admit, I did that with Cannabis. 20 some odd, however many years ago that was, 1997, 98. I gave him the W and defended it, knowing in the back of my mind that shit LL said was devastating. He said you want the fame, famous overnight, famous for getting fucked by a stick of dynamite. Cannabis ain't had no bars like that in Second Round Knockout. His craziest shit was you ain't got the skills to eat niggas ass like me.
That's the same pause shit. I was gonna say on both of them shits. Both of them is some extra pause moments. I don't know. By 2014 standards, neither one of them bars. We're not letting either one of them niggas get off with that shit, nigga. I'm looking at both of them niggas like they was at the Diddy party the night before. You know what I'm saying? Having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Talking about take that shit.
97, 98, you never know.
Yeah. I'm just saying, based off of the way that you just put that down.
You gotta compare. You gotta compare the like bars. You know what I'm saying?
How about I give neither one of them motherfuckers a pass? You know what I'm saying? You can't show up.
Well, I mean, that's a slippery slope, though, and I'm not finna start criticizing Biggie. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm not finna start criticizing Biggie, then I can't say shit to Cannabis and LL about no pause ball.
I'm mad that I can't go fry this chicken.
Ooh.
They're not chicken.
Ooh.
I mean, the shrimp.
I really want Shaq to have said something like that in this diss record against Shannon Sharp, too. I haven't worked up the nerve to listen to it yet because I don't want to bring Shaq down off the pedestal just yet. He just been saying some bullshit for these last several years. But I still want to be a Shaq fan for at least another few days. And so I'm not listening to the diss record. But I want him to have said something about, I just really need to fry this chicken.
Yeah, Shaq be on some bullshit, man. Shaq be on some bullshit. I can't remember how to get this.
I don't know, man. I'm just not ready to throw away my old Orlando jersey just yet. I know I'm going to have to eventually, though. You know what I'm saying? Because that nigga been on some straight bullshit for a little bit. That Kyrie shit pissed me off.
Oh, well, shit, that's what we got. We're about to roll up out of here. I was going to show more, but I'm about to go cook some dinner, man. I'm hungry. Yeah, but I guess we didn't even really talk about why it's bad for hip-hop, but it's bad for hip-hop for the reasons of now we have allegations of fucking child molestation, PDF stuff on the biggest rapper, and then allegations on domestic violence and a child not being somebody who is supposed to be a righteous, holy person, and allegations of infidelity. So, and culture vulturism and all that good stuff. So,
which was a dope line, but I agree, it was inappropriate to throw that out there because honestly, if you tarnish this man's reputation unnecessarily just to win a battle, in my book, that's a bitch move.
Right. If it's true, You should have came out a
If
long
it's true,
time
then you should
ago.
have pressed charges
Well, no,
or called somebody.
if it's true, you should have been came out. But you come out still. I'm not mad at you. I'm not that dude. Of course, I'm like, of course, give the information. But don't wait until it's a time when you can profit off the information in order to drop the information. Don't be plotting on this for like 5 to 10 years and then drop the information. Give the information so that there's no more victims, so that there's nobody else can get hurt, you know? As soon as you find out, you tell so that nobody else can get hurt. Don't wait 10 people. Don't wait 10 years and then maybe there's a potentially 20, 40, 30 more victims and you could have stopped it a long time ago and you just waited until you could find a way to profit off of it. Don't do that shit.
I would never engage in a battle, MC or otherwise, with a nigga I thought was a sexual predator. I wouldn't even want to be linked to him that way. I'm not saying his name on the song if I really believe that he's doing something like that. Not doing it. And that's coming from somebody who passed on a battle versus a worthy MC because he has some bullshit going on in his life like that. I wouldn't want to be saying your name in a song if I really thought you was a PDF file. And so saying it to try to win a battle, again, circles for me right back to bitch made. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't disagree with you one bit. You know what I'm saying? I think that, you know, we'll see how it goes. We'll see what's at from here. Maybe it's over, maybe it's not. It's like I'm torn because I would love to see a couple more rounds, but I don't want to see any proof. So them niggas got to figure out how they can convey the masses. Well, Kendrick ain't got to do shit. So Drake got to can figure out how he can sway the opinion of the masses in order to turn this battle around. But Kendrick got the whole entire West Coast sea-walking, not like us. And it's hilarious.
Well, I mean, Drake picked up one fan in this whole battle. I'm becoming a Drake fan legitimately now. I'm going back and listening to all the old timestamp records and shit. I just heard some shit called Tuscan Leather the other day that was so raw, I'm mad at my friends for not pulling my coattails to it years ago. You know what I'm saying? So Drake did pick up one fan for what it's worth.
Yeah, he didn't listen to anything, Drake. But all right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. And we'll holler at y'all. Peace.
One time.